Tarot card reading traces back hundreds of years and has long been misunderstood, starting with 15th century French clergymen assigning evil intent to the deck. Thoughts about the practice have come a long way since then, but not until today has tarot been introduced into the world of snacking. So sit back and enjoy as we sail into the mystic through the world of tarot and ask, You tried that? You tried that. I'm Nick Noack with my pal Shad Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Eiger.
Hey there.
And joining us today is Jenna Lynne from Present Path Tarot. Jenna, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Jenna, the first thing before we go is I watched some of your videos, and every time you said tarot, and I've always called it tarot. So what is the correct pronunciation?
They're actually both correct. It's so I'm a tarot reader, and I read tarot cards. It's just like what sounds right to me. And the word originally is Italian, and it's tarocchi, Tarocchi. And so it doesn't. It doesn't really matter that much.
Okay, because I watched the videos and I thought, I've been saying it wrong all these years.
It's tarot, but it's also tarot. It's just a matter of where you put the inflection. I know. Yeah. I get asked this a lot, and it's funny that at the tarot symposium, we say both. It's just fluid.
That's cool. All right, I feel like less of an idiot now. Thanks for clearing
First time anyone's ever learned anything.
Yeah.
I called it tarot. Was that wrong?
You're wrong.
I'm the only one who was wrong.
That's the wrong one, right?
I called it fried chicken sandwich. Was that wrong?
One of my videos on my YouTube is me talking to the phone, trying to get it to auto text with the speech to text, and because I have to say it completely wrong to get the phone to recognize it. I have to say like tarot.
Oh, sure.
So I think a lot of people have like is probably an incorrect view of tarot.
Completely agree. Or tarot.
Or tarot.
They have a correct view of tarot, but an incorrect view of tarot.
So give us like an idea, because I think when we think of it, it's just when I think of it, it's just cards being laid down, and then
you get
basically someone's
at.
like someone's reading your fortune. Like I think people think of it as your fortune being read, which is probably
and someone's gonna tell you you're gonna die. So here's how I think of this problem is that I'm also a writer, and part of the problem is it's a very cheap writing trick to give ominous foreshadowing by telling a hero you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. You have the death card.
Like in a movie, yeah, right.
And so writers have kind of ruined it by using a cheap trick. Even Schitt's Creek recently ticked me off when Twyla's like, "Oh, you're all going to die in a boating accident." I'm like, "No."
Spoilers.
Well, I spoiled one joke on the show.
So, what percentage of the people would you say you do tell are going to die?
0.
Oh,
I have a couple times when there's been a couple times that I've said it looks like there's like death happening around you. What's going on? And the 2 or 3 times I've said that, the person has said, "Oh yeah, Dad's on the hospice." Every time they've been very like, "Oh yeah, this is familiar."
Oh yeah, Dad's on the hospice. I'm a serial killer. All those things are true.
Yeah. You're just tossing a knife back and forth.
My doctor is a really bad tarot reader.
Right.
So the thing is that to me, the cards are inherently compassionate. They're giving you information, and that's why I call my company Present Path, is because it's where you're at now, how to align on your best trajectory forward to live your best life. So it's like navigating and aligning with your best choices to your best future. And that's really what most readers are doing, is that we're giving you an assessment of what's going on right now and the choices you have to make and how you can align with some really strong, powerful choices. So it's a very empowering practice. It's a way of helping you get a fresh perspective on things. And there is a psychic, magical gift to it that I'm enchanted by, and that makes people get a little choked up and cry sometimes, which I do love.
People react that way when you tell them they're going to die.
And so just the idea that a stranger is telling you things that you have in your mind going on already, or that you have in your life happening, is a really goose pimply amazing experience. And to me, it's a divine practice. It's called divination. And it's a divine practice of reminding people that something out there cares enough to let this chaos system of 78 cards tell them what's happening in their own life and align with their own intuition. So for me, it's a very validating experience. The most common word I hear is "that's spot on." That's spot on, and that's validating.
It's a little bit like therapy almost.
I call it therapy, but I'm not a counselor. And I will say one of the things I do the most is send people to counselors.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because people come to me and I'm like, you have a lot going on right now. And I love to help you through the cards as much as I can, but you need weekly support by a professional.
Yeah. You need to see a professional and get all these things sorted out before you die. Now, let me tell you about you dying.
It's interesting you call it therapy, because I call it therapy.
You call it therapy, I call it therapy.
How did you get into this? You said this wasn't your original path.
No, I was a film geek, and I originally was planning just to become a famous producer or something, but turns out that industry is kind of toxic. So if you would have told me when I was young I would be a professional tarot reader in my in my adult life, I'd be like, what? No.
Right.
But it starts with I was 15 years old, and my parents and I went to New Orleans for a trip, for like spring break trip, and I got a reading from a man where his name was Jarek, and he had these curly little bangs, squarely cut with a weird square cut bob and this medieval outfit on, and I was like, this guy's weird. This is cool. I'm in New Orleans. And I got the reading, and I immediately told my dad, I was like, that was neat, and I want a deck. And my dad was really into this idea. He loves Joseph Campbell and archetypes, and people who rip on tarot, I'm like, hey, if you like Joseph Campbell and if you like Carl Jung, they both love tarot, so you should too.
Yeah.
Joseph Campbell wrote an introduction to a tarot book, and Jung regularly gave speeches about why it's a valid thing to an archetypal system to pay attention to. My dad helped me go and get a card deck almost immediately. He's like, oh yeah, let's go. And got me a deck. So I was 15 with my deck, and I played around with it and goofed around with it for about, 13 years. And then I went back to New Orleans. I was living in Taiwan teaching English, and I had a friend who had just learned the cards, but she was like channeling. And I'm like, what is that? Like, what are you doing? And she taught me more of the mystic side of it. And my friend Andrea. And then I came back to the States, and I was driving around the States in my car doing a circumnavigation of the US. And I was going to New Orleans, and my boyfriend at the time said, I think you're going to read cards in New Orleans. And I was like, that sounds terrifying. So I went to New Orleans, and the very first person I met was like, I said, oh, I'm trying to sell my wares here. And they were like, I don't know anything about that. I read cards in Jackson Square. I can tell you about that.
Yeah.
And she gave me like a pamphlet of perfect information of like how to deal with the cops, how to deal with the gypsies, how to deal with the carnies and the druggies. There's lots of people in New Orleans. And so I couldn't find any other work in New Orleans, and I couldn't sell my wares anymore. And there was and everyone's like, nope, you have to be a local to do that. So I took out my table, I put on a hippie outfit like she told me, and I went and found an open spot, which she says everyone gets just first come, first serve. Yeah. Sat down, gave a reading, and this girl rides up on a little pink bike with a little pink bob, wig. She goes, oh, hey, you're in Jarek's spot. And I was like, whoops, Jarek? From when I was a mistake. And I said, is he like a medieval looking guy with some weird bob cut and curly white hair or whatever? She goes, yeah, Jarek. I'm like, I got a reading from when I was 15 years old. Yeah. And so that's the kind of magic.
He told me I was going to die. I'm still here.
Ironically, he's dead.
He was an interesting dude. New Orleans is full of interesting, amazing people. He's passed since, but he was a palm reader because he had almost no lines on his palm. It was surreal.
Why
And
does
he
that make
felt
him
that
a
he
palm
was
reader?
What now?
because he was fascinated by not having any lines
Oh,
at
okay.
all on his palms. Like he had like, no lines on his palms.
He was also
And then
blind. It was really weird.
he thought that he believed, and I support this belief, that he was the avatar of lost women and cats. So he took in all these cats, and he would take care of, he would watch out for young lost women, and like, so all these girls called him dad and he called him daughter, and I think it was legit healthy. And he
Sounds
was
like
just
it,
trying
yeah.
to,
Seems like
kinda weird, but
seems like a
we
cult
need
of crazy
family.
cat ladies, to be honest.
He was, yeah. And I mean, and he read cards out there his whole life until he passed. So many magic things happened, and I felt like I was kind of pulled into a vortex of this art form that really made sense to me, and I was just relishing. And so then I've just since then just read professionally, and I also was a teacher. I did other more legit jobs, but I just feel called to teach and give tarot readings. I teach the cards as well.
Right. 10 years passed and then you're on YTD. So.
I can relate to that feeling. It's sort of like that vortex is the same feeling I had when I first saw like a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I was just like drawn to it, and I was like, this is what I'm meant to do, you know. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's a calling. It is a calling. And it's funny because when I was even judgy about tarot readers. There's a Northwest Tarot Symposium, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm into that. I don't want to be around all these like weirdo tarot readers.
Uh-huh.
And then I went, and they're like the best people. They're conscientious. I really am impressed with the intelligence level of tarot readers in general. They're spiritual and kind of on their own path usually. I just found like I really fit in with tarot readers and found it to be a really supportive group of people and a lot of collaboration. One thing I love about the cards is like there's not this weird competition about it. Like if you say, well, this is how I read the Hanged Man card, someone else can say, oh, that's interesting, I'll read it this way. But there's not this like, you're wrong, I'm right. There's none of that. It's very like collaborative, curious.
Well, I've got a full house, so fuck you.
The tarot is... Do you know playing card decks come from the tarot? They do.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing, like, before you talked about the symposium, I'm picturing, like, if someone would have just told me that before I ever met you, I just picture a bunch of magician type guys with their cards just being like, oh, I'm going to die, you're going to die. And just like throwing cards at each other.
Well, it's mostly a female industry. So at the Tarot Symposium, they actually have to have forums just like for men, like so the males can have their time.
Wow.
Yeah, but playing card decks, so basically they took out the trump cards, which are the major arcana, which is the Fool to the World card. That's 22 cards. And then they took out the female jacks. And so 78 became 52. And we play cards. Yeah, hearts are... diamonds are pentacles.
Yeah.
Hearts are cups. Wands are clubs. And swords are spades.
Oh.
Huh.
Do you have anybody who's like in your life or close to you who like gives you a hard time about it?
My brother.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like,
just like,
don't
what are
ever
you
read
doing?
the cards for me, Jenny. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna read the cards to you if you don't want it. You gotta pay me for that, buddy.
Chasing him around the house at Christmas. Death card, here it is. Just whipping it at him.
Yeah. He told me I need to give up my alternative lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel like you should just like sneak into his room late one night and just be laying the cards down on his belly or something, and that'll probably win him over.
Start doing a seance over his body.
Yeah.
All right. So Jenna's going to give us some readings a little bit later on in the show, but let's get to some snacking. We've got five snacks. We got 3 snacks. We eat them on a 5-point scale: a love dat, like dat, indifferent to dat, dislike dat, and hate dat. And let's start with the veggie straws. Jenna, while we're getting those, you're gluten-free. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are your go-to snacks then? Because Geiger's wife has celiacs, and so he knows he has eaten quite a lot of gluten-free foods.
So luckily I'm in the land of good gluten-free, and I just recently found Stroopwafels. I love Stroopwafels, those like waffle cookies with caramel in between that are gluten-free.
Yeah.
I found them in the Winco. I was delighted.
I didn't know those were gluten free, or
No,
there
they're
are gluten
not.
free
I
soup
found.
waffles.
Oh, you
Yeah,
found a version
now
of
I've-
them then.
I
Okay.
finally like had that hallelujah, like I found gluten-free soup waffles.
That's great.
And I love those. I love cookies. I'm a big cookie fan, and the gluten-free cookies have come a long way. They're
Sure,
good.
Geiger disagrees.
I mean, a good way
Um,
from like they started like urinal cakes, and now they're slightly better.
They used to be all crumbly and like dry out your
Yeah,
mouth.
they're just too dry. Most gluten-free stuff is just too dry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gotten so much better in 10 years. I had to get gluten-free because it's not just because I live in Portland. I had to be gluten-free because I picked up some stowaways in my many international travels called Cryptosporidium. And
Yikes.
until I went to a naturopath, the Western doctors are like, oh yeah, just put some steroid cream on your skin that's breaking open. And then when I finally went to a naturopath, they're like, oh, we need to test your tube. Something's wrong in the tube.
Oh.
The poop tube. And
Yeah,
so
right.
thank God we found out that I had this parasite, but it scourged me a bit. So my gut, I just need a little healing.
Wow.
But my favorite snacks are really like, I like weird stuff. My boyfriend of 10 years actually decided he liked me because I offered him a ginger candy from Asia, like a traditional ginger chew.
One of my
And
wife's favorite things. She
Mine
loves those.
too. But
he
we
was
hate
like,
gluten.
"Oh, I like you because you have unique taste. You like different things, and I like black licorice, which is often
right.
gluten.
Oh, that's a
so I have to
problem.
find the gluten-free ones. And I like, cookies is my main go-to, and dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate.
Wow.
We got there. Yeah.
Black licorice, ginger chews. I told you guys she's a witch.
Yes,
That before she came out.
indeed.
Nothing to do with the cards. Just
I do think witches like black licorice. I think that should be a truth right there. Yeah.
So these are the garden veggie straws, Zesty Ranch. All the snacks we're trying today are ranch flavored. So
Are
have
these,
you guys
these
had...
three different flavors, the different colors?
I don't know.
Because I
don't
see a
think so.
tomato,
think so.
a potato, and spinach on the cover, but I don't know if that's just marketing.
Trying to close my eyes and eat one and see if they taste different.
I couldn't tell the difference, when I tried to do that.
I've had a bunch of these because our kids would have them, like when they were little, and we actually cared about them eating healthy. So I've had the regular ones, and they all just taste the same to me.
You gave them this and considered it healthy?
Healthier
like-
than like
I was thinking the same thing. I was
fried
like,
thing.
healthier
oh.
than like a Ruffles or something.
It's got the word veggie
Douche.
on front.
Yeah.
It's douched in ranch, and it's like
Dude,
13%
No, we
of
get
your
the
daily
regular
sodium.
ones.
I didn't
Oh,
know you
okay.
could douche a chip.
It's douched in. It's douched in ranch powder, not ranch. I mean,
Oh, okay. Well, I take it all
Summer's
back.
Eve veggie straws.
No, I only say that because we were trying to find snacks for my daughter when, because toddlers can only eat like certain things or whatever. And I proposed veggie straws to my wife, oh, it says veggie, they're probably healthy. And she laughed me out of the house. She's like, you're just giving them potato chips. Like, might as well just buy them a bag of Ruffles or something.
They're like it.
I was
and
like,
it's potato starch and flour, which means it's basically a Pringle made into a stick.
Yeah.
I'd much rather eat a Pringle. I'll say that.
I kind of would do.
All right. Let's get to the Geiger. Why don't you start us off here? What do you think of these?
Yeah, these are better than the regular veggie straws. The ranch is actually makes it better. These are okay, not healthy, I guess, even though they say they're from the garden, and that's all you have to do to be healthy. I'm pretty sure. So I drank my homegrown garden fresh Miller High Life before coming on this podcast.
Right.
And it says right here 30% less fat than the leading potato chips. Okay, the leading potato chips in the world are way fattier than this. This is partially probably why they're not leading. They could win. They just chose to be healthy. They taste okay, actually. They're a little lighter than regular chips. They're like there's a bunch of air in them. You can tell. They taste fine. I don't know. This is like the right down the middle, like kind of boring and different to that. They're crunchy and you can shove a bunch of them in your mouth if you're bored. But they're not like so fantastically tasting good that I'm really craving a bunch.
Wait, so what'd you give it?
Oh, indifferent to that.
All right, indifferent to that. Okay, Jenna, you're gonna go next. What do you think?
So I appreciate these because they're really good for dipping in bitchin' sauce, which I love. That's one of my snacky things I love. Did you get bitchin'
You
sauce?
say bitchin' sauce? What is that?
Bitchin' sauce. Maybe it's a Portland thing, but it's like a healthy-ish, like not hummus, but like I don't even know what they have some that's made with nuts. I don't even know what it's made with, but it's just this delicious
Peanut butter?
flavored like creamy sauce that doesn't have any milk in it. It's like vegan, but it's delicious.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Anyway, it's called bitchin' sauce. If it comes your way,
it's an
try it
almond
out.
dip. It's an almond
Almond
according to
dip,
Google,
right?
yeah.
Almond dip. So, and then they also have this dip is nuts, which is a different kinds of nuts in it.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate these are nice. I like the dipability of these. So we don't have that now, but
But you're gonna dip like a ranch one into an additional sauce, right? Is that too
I would.
much? No.
I go there. It
All right.
depends on the flavor,
You're
but
right.
I go
Bold.
there. I'm bold like that.
Bitchin'
Yeah.
sauce is good for anything.
And I will say I'm really grateful that they have other flavors here, like apple straws, cinnamon garden veggie straws. So I just am really grateful you didn't do the apple straws because that sounds nasty.
Yes.
I wouldn't want these
Yeah,
sweet.
no.
I mean, I'd give these an indifferent as well. A 3. Is that a 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically a 3 out of 5. Yeah.
I mean, I eat them when they're at a table, but I'm not like, ooh.
Right. The correct our phraseology for that is I'd eat them if somebody handed them to me at a party. That's generally the phrasing we use.
If you're at a party and you get offered a handful of veggie straws, get up and leave. That's a terrible party.
And I have learned that they're not as healthy as I thought today by reading the back of it. It's got yeast extract and
It's from the garden. There's
It
tomatoes,
literally on
spinach.
the back says not as healthy as you thought.
Does it really? No, that's wow.
but you can have 38 of them, and that's one
Yeah.
serving.
And what? Oh, that's a serving.
You have 38 of them, and then the death card comes up.
That is why we call ourselves Sensible Portions trademark. So they trademarked the phrase sensible portions.
Wow.
All right, Chad, what do you think?
So I don't like regular veggie straws. I hadn't had these before, and at first I thought they were pretty good because that ranch flavor adds a lot to it, I think, actually. And Jenna made a great point about the dipability. I think if I had... Actually, I think I would want to dip these in maybe cheese or more ranch. I don't know. I think they are a good form factor for dipping. My problem with them is the aftertaste. And I was prepared to actually give them an indifferent to that, but now that they've been sitting out of my mouth for like a couple minutes, something about that ranch is just not sitting right in my mouth. And so for that reason, I am going to slightly downgrade them just into a dislike that.
Okay. I actually like regular veggie straws. I think they're better than these. I agree. Like the ranch flavor seems like it's a good idea at first, and I really like ranch dressing and processed ranch foods, but these aren't great. Like this ranch powder that's on them isn't great, but they're still not awful. But the ranch kind of tastes like they were dipped in what I forget the phrase Jenna said, but I believe it was the poop hole. So,
The poop tube?
The poop hole is much more explicit.
Yeah.
That's a lot worse. Sorry.
Poop tube's a little classier. Just a little classier.
I'm going to give him a third indifferent to that. So we have 3 indifferents, a dislike. Not a great start, but you never know. The Doritos are the biggest wild card. Let's leave those for last. Let's do the Kettle brand potato chips.
Why are the Doritos the wild card?
I don't know. I feel like
The 3D.
well, just because the chips are so plain. 3D.
The 3D.
The 3D really. I mean, it's got a whole third dimension.
We usually eat 2D chips on this show.
I think it's because Geiger is a huge Doritos guy,
Yeah.
and so, but the 3D thing is actually like, is that going to translate well? You know,
Will the range be as
see.
cool?
and also our guest, the guest we had last week, actually was talking about the 3D Doritos, and she's like, they're a little plasticky. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm least looking forward to them.
Okay.
No, they're a wild card.
All right.
So originally we talked about getting something from Portland. And the kettle chip brand, we learned, comes from Portland. So did
Oh,
you
really?
know
I didn't know that.
No,
beforehand, Jenna?
it comes from Salem, but it's very close to Portland.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's 40 minutes away.
The greater Portland area, sort of.
It's the capital city of Oregon. That's 40 minutes south of Portland.
I like to think of Sacramento as part of the greater San Francisco area, even though it's 2 hours away. And
I think San Francisco people like to think that so they can be cool.
Whoa.
I also think of Los Angeles as greater San Francisco area, but I'm kind of a piece of shit that way.
Did you know these were like a local snack? Are they advertised as such near you?
No, because we're kind of we have some hardcore local snack thing going on.
Okay.
And these are such a big brand now that they don't even rely on that anymore. But maybe 10 years ago, I don't know how long ago, they've been out for a long time, right?
Are people like mad that Kettle sold out to the man?
No,
It's like
no
an
one cares that
establishment
much.
chip. No.
They might be. I mean, seriously, people do get big on establishment issues. Like when Fred Meyer's, which is our grocery store, sold to Kroger, people got pissy about that. When New Seasons, which is our local Whole Foods, sold out to a Korean company big time, people got pissy about that, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
I think it was, I could be wrong about the second one, but they sold to somebody.
Portland is a interesting food city. I remember I was there a couple years ago, and I was fascinated by there's like whole city block of just like food stands. You know what I mean? Like in the downtown area. And
They just
and it
tore
was,
those, they tore one set of those out very sadly and are putting
Oh.
in a giant hotel.
But I remember it was like such a wild variety of food, right? You'd have like a salad place, and then right next to that, I got this burger. I got a cheeseburger where both of the buns were grilled cheese sandwiches, like the top and bottom bun.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome.
Is that a cheeseburger anymore?
Yeah.
We are a hardcore foodie town. We love it.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
I had some great food there. It was awesome.
And it's great. You go to potlucks there, and it's just such. It's what I love about it is it's healthy. Like, not all the time. We love our bacon. We love our bacon, you know. But
nothing
like,
healthier than 2 grilled cheese with a cheeseburger.
so I like that we have both.
Sounds very
But I
healthy.
like that we have both. I like that we have the grilled cheese, some
Right.
ridiculous greasiness, and you go to a potluck and you'll have like bacon wrapped goat cheese dates next to like a nice kale salad that makes you like kale more. I mean, it's
It's all
people
order.
make, and then Brussels sprouts that like I didn't even like Brussels sprouts till I moved to Portland, and people showed me how it's done. Like there's a lot of vegetables in our diet there. And
Yeah.
when I go to other places, I just get like really disappointed by the food on a potluck table in a lot of places I go outside Portland. So you get a little spoiled.
It's all just veggie straws everywhere else.
I mean, that's like considered the high. That's like, ooh, look, we're being healthy.
I actually remember that the Meyer thing because I remember seeing like headlines of the paper that just said "Tarot reader to Fred Meyer, you will die."
I've never done a reading for a direct corporation. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be an
Oh, boy.
awkward- Sales are down. You should lay everyone off.
Hey, Jeff
Cut our mic
Bezos.
off.
I mean, and look at the ingredients comparatively to the veggie straws. The veggie straws have a lot of things that seem kind of not terrible, but not great.
I get it. They're
And
not
this is Look
healthy.
how short this list is. This still has yeast extract on it.
It says parsley in it.
I mean,
But this
it's got
has
some
no
whey.
garden vegetables whatsoever, so I'm in favor of it. Get that garden out of here.
Chad,
Unless
you
it's like
start
a
us off.
bacon garden. These are significantly better than the veggie straws. I think the ranch flavoring on these is night and day. I think these have a really good crisp to them. I do like kettle chips. I've never had this flavor before, but they are sort of one of those brands of chips that I will buy if I'm at like a sandwich shop or something and I see them there. Like I'd pick these over, most like sort of Lay's or something like that, right? They just taste sort of like a little bit higher quality. I think these are really good chips. I'm gonna give them a like that. I think they're solid.
Okay, like to start. Jenna, what do you think?
I love these. My favorite flavor of kettle chips is the they have like a Thai one. It's really good. And then they have a honey barbecue. Oh my god, I love my kettle chips. So I love kettle chips. I was excited that you had these on the list, and I really enjoy that they don't have that weird acrid sweet something
No, they
going
don't.
on that the veggie straws had
Yeah.
that left. I agree on that aftertaste. You actually kind of changed my opinion on the other ones a bit with the. I was like, yeah, it does have a crappy
We can
aftertaste.
change the rating if you want. There's precedent.
I want to. It's a 2-3. It's right in between.
Okay.
So these I would give. I mean, a 4 or I don't know what 5 level is because
love.
I'm not
like
a
or
huge
love.
potato chip. I'd put it at 4.5 because I like them enough to love them
such thing.
someday. But
You can't do that.
No, you either like them
Or-
or you can say
Yeah.
you can
I'm
say
gonna go 4.
a
I'm gonna
high
go 4
a
because
high
there's
like.
flavors I like
Okay.
better.
Okay.
All right.
There's
Sure.
flavors I like better of kettle chip where I just crack out on them and just consume them in one gulp. But
Yeah.
I would definitely, these would be a nice 4 on a diet because I wouldn't eat them all at once.
Okay, that translation is a high level like that.
Yeah. But on our spreadsheet, just says like that.
I agree with both of you guys that they are better than the veggie straws. They're still not great. I probably would go with a lot of other flavors over this, but it's clear that ranch mixes better with the potato chip than it does with really fresh tomatoes and spinach.
Ground up spinach or whatever it is.
So I'm going to give it a 3rd like that. Geiger, do we have a welcome visitor?
Yeah. Look, it's every once in a while I like to indulge it when I'm not eating health food like the veggie straws that are made from things from your garden, right? Your tomatoes, your spinach, your carrots. I'm sorry. Is it Caro? It might be Caro.
Yeah.
You've got you go for something a little less healthy. Now, I love the kettle brand. We've had didn't we have like salt and pepper kettle chips on here before?
I think
Something
so.
like that.
Yeah.
Those are really good. These are really good. I'm not one of these ranch crazy people. I do love Cool Ranch Doritos. That's been on record. I'm not stepping back on that. But in general, ranch is like a fine thing to me. I know there's a lot of people that are obsessed with it. It's okay. So I wouldn't probably pick ranch flavored chips over other flavors, but these are good. I really like that kind of kettle cooked chip anyway. I'm Mr. Chip. I got to say, this is definitely a like that for me. Now,
All right.
It's not a higher level one. It's not a mid level. It's just straight up like that. So.
All right. 4 likes, a welcome visitor. And that's going to be tough to beat. And I don't know if the Doritos has it, but they have 3 dimensions.
Well, they are wild cards, so we'll see.
Right.
Wild card.
Okay. The time has come, the time we've been waiting for, and we're going to do some
Hell yeah.
ratings. So why don't we do Geiger first? 'cause
Ooh,
he's usually
love
the
that
guy,
sound.
so-
I'm most likely
One of
about
my
to
favorite
die
sounds,
earlier,
honestly.
so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already half dead.
So
She didn't say no. Is that a problem? No.
I was distracted by my shuffling.
how does it usually work?
I-
How does this usually work? You like make an appointment with somebody, or like you're just hanging out on the boulevard in New Orleans.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And someone comes up to you.
Yeah, so basically, I have a website where you can schedule me online on Zoom. And in Portland, I often get people just calling me and saying, hey, can I set up a time with you? And sometimes people want to do walk-ins, but I don't do walk-ins. And so basically people find me online and then schedule a reading with me online. And then we meet on Zoom, basically.
Mm.
And I like to start readings. Personally, I've found through it's an energy work. Even according to my insurance I pay for. So it's an actual energy work. And so I find it really helpful to begin and end the reading with a meditation or something to kind of ground us in.
Sure.
Because it creates a container which allows us all to become present. And I think that's really brings a lot of value to the reading for both the person listening and for whatever woo magic is happening here. I really think it's awesome. So we can take a moment because, for the sake of time, I say we just take 3 breaths together and I'm going to lead. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
So let's all of us just close our eyes for a second, and all listeners, just take a moment. You deserve this moment of presence with yourself. Just a couple breaths. So take a breath in your lower abdomen like you're in yoga class. And just feel yourself grounded in this place and time on your own trajectory on this earth. And then bring awareness up to the crown of your head. And welcome in any guardians, guides, angels, or ancestors if you want to go woo like that. Or just welcome in your own intuition. And then bring awareness to your heart. And just feel whatever's happening there today. And just take a nice breath of nurturing into your heart. And then one more breath, 4 breaths. Feeling your root chakra, which is your tailbone, perineum, and going down to your feet. And feel yourself connected and grounded in the earth. And that your body's made of earth and that you're one with it. Solid. And then you can think, if you guys want to ask a question, what question you'd like to ask specifically, or we can just do a general quick reading of just a couple cards on just what you need to know right now. And each of you can choose whatever you like. So who would like to go first?
Geiger, real quick before, when you said just like in yoga class, that's when the whole thing disappeared. I'm like, she might as well have said when I'm on the moon. Like,
Well, I'm talking to your listeners, and I'm going to guess at least 60% of them have been in a yoga class.
3 deep breaths. I'm almost dead already.
You live in San Francisco. You live in San Francisco. You know yoga.
I will say that I definitely felt it, but I felt it most in my poop tube. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And you're rooted in your perineum, and you are just one right now.
Oh,
all right, Geiger's going first.
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Hit me. It's not that. We're not playing cards.
Deal me
We are actually. This is playing cards. It's just poker with your life.
Hit me.
I got a crow. I think that's what, a 7? And no.
So wait. So is it better we come up with a question, or we just get like a general?
It's really up to you. I mean, it works either way. I prefer you make that decision.
What do you want, Geiger?
For this first one, why don't you just go ahead, and if something pops in my head, I'll ask. But we can just do a regular reading.
I'm gonna go general. All right. I'm a little more nervous than normal. Normally, I read at events where like people are watching over, but I'm pulling the cards here, but I'm like, whew.
You're nervous. I'm finding out when I'm gonna die.
I wish when you did Zoom, like when you zoomed with someone and you like pause it and it shows your picture or whatever, I wish yours was just a skull and crossbones.
I'm kidding, of course. But
All right, so Geiger,
mm-hmm.
you ready? Are you related to HR Geiger? I just have to know.
No,
Oh, I
different
hope
spelling.
so.
Yeah.
Or are you related to the Geiger? Are you related to the Geiger detector thing?
Geiger
counters?
Possibly. It's at least the same spelling. Yeah. So,
Okay.
You are related to that machine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's
Are you related to guys that go grr?
He is one.
Okay.
We just only his wife knows. So it looks like you have the Ace of Wands, but it's reversed with the 10 of Cups reversed. So it looks like you might have lost a little bit of your spark in the last while, and you're feeling a little depleted.
What does that mean reversed? Can you explain that?
So
to me?
reversed is basically, so each card is an archetype of a concept, right?
Uh-huh.
A singular concept, an essence of something. So an Ace of Wands upright is, it's a nice wand that's on fire, and it's kind of your spark of inspiration or an another thing.
We got you.
Definitely not me. Moving on.
But in this case, when it's reversed, it would just say that there's a lack of inspiration going on. Which,
it looks recognizable. Yeah, I'm burning my fucking foot off. Yeah.
And so when things are reversed, it just means that that's a field that you probably are kind of needing to move energy into, or it can be. The reversals kind of exponentially open up the card meanings into a lot deeper than they were upright. So it's hard to say, but in this case,
you don't want to get the reverse poop tube. That's the real.
That's your mouth. That's your mouth.
That's a scientific word.
That's where I was putting
mouth.
steroid cream on the edges of my mouth. So the 10 of Cups reversed is about not allowing joy in, and that's like kind of like being blocked a little bit on your joy flow. And so it seems to me you might have been a little overwhelmed, not have so much spark. And so part of that's happening because you have the Four of Pentacles, which is this card about kind of trying to have too much control over your earth, trying to have just too much grip, a little too tight of a grip on the wheel. And I would say this is overall saying, let yourself trust joy when it comes in. There might be kind of a reaction to joy when it comes in of like, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know what's bad going to happen if I let this in. Brene Brown even talks about that. If you know her, I don't know if you guys are into anyway. Brene Brown's this awesome Texan lady who talks about vulnerability, but in a real cut and dry, direct way. She's not all soft and stuff. She's great. So she talks about that people often, when we have joy come in, get panic and go like, no. If I let that in, then what's going to collapse around me? Like, and so I would say, this is saying like, you got to like, I feel like you need to do some happy dancing. You need to like shake out your shimmies. You know, I see there's kid pictures behind you. And so I know you have some access to some cool.
They're weighing you down.
So there's a way to, let those kids make some fun in your life. Right. Let yourself do some silly happy dance, put on some Raffi or something. Put on Banana Phone and just let go.
You're speaking Greek again. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know the song Banana Phone? Do you know Raffi? You have kids, you don't know Raffi? He's the best for kids.
The teeth.
He's so fun.
I wonder if your kids are too old for Raffi now, Geiger.
Yeah, probably. They've moved on to like T-Pain and stuff. So.
That accurate reading sounds pretty. I thought of you that. Some of that sounded kind of accurate.
No, that is not at all inaccurate. It's not that I'm a dour, angry person, but the rest of that
grumpy
is
pants, little on the grumpy pants.
No, but yeah, probably more reserved than I need to be. I'm a complete asshole.
The cards are just
I'm a real poke dude, you know
dick.
what I'm saying? No, but I mean,
just saying, like, let it be fun. Let yourself have some fun and like not take things too seriously for a little while.
Probably accurate.
And not, and also you can kind of, there's a thing about being too like, oh, this is mine and I need to protect this and be careful with it. It's like,
take your shirt off. All right, we're doing it. Here we go.
Time for some fun.
All right.
Chad,
one shuffle round here. Chad, do you have a question or want to go more general?
I'll do a question one.
Don't ask when I'm gonna die.
No, of course not. No. So I'll ask. Is it bad for me to ask something about like work or something?
No, you can just say. Well, I mean, it depends if it's going to be public.
Well, I won't get too into specifics of my job, but basically, I changed to a new team back in January. And things have been going good, but like especially with everything being remote, it's kind of been tough to sort of like make those same kind of like interpersonal connections that are like a lot of times important with your coworkers, and that I only see them like over video chat or whatever. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there are ways that I can sort of like make better connections with my new teammates while knowing that we're still going to be remote for at least like the next few months.
Before I even open the cards, I'm going to tell you should have a corporate event with me reading cards for all of the people you work with. It's a lot of fun. You got to listen in on each other's lives, but I can be sensitive enough to not embarrass the hell out of you like I just did Geiger.
You can drag me out there too, make me look like an asshole.
Right. This guy never knew he was an asshole till I told him.
Look at this taciturn shithead over here.
So the first card says you should stop being friends with Geiger. He's a real piece of shit.
So I pulled a couple extra cards for you, just because they were popping out and they were just, the it's called clairtangency when you can feel in your hand when you on movies they'll be like you're holding a ring of a girl who's lost. They're like she's in the swamp, So clairtangency is the ability to touch something and have a psychic gift. But when you pull cards, it's also clairtangency to kind of feel a magnet in my hand. Yeah. When I pull. So I pulled a couple extra for you, but the first one is 9 of Pentacles. The first thing is you're all at home, and this is the home card.
Yeah.
So very fitting. And so there's that kind of celebration of what are you doing at home? What's, like a sort of thing of like, it's kind of fun to be at home. We don't have to wear pants. And that thing of letting people maybe share their house life in some way. Oh, there's your cat. What's your cat's name?
Mhm.
That is a healthy way to kind of include a sort of community. And you also have the Six of Cups, which is a card about nostalgia and the past and good memories.
Mhm.
So that could be making good memories with this new team, but also learning good memories, like asking a fun question that would like,
Hmm.
there's fun little card games that are for getting teenagers to talk that I used with my ESL students. And I'm kind of calling in something like that, where you say like, what was your first movie experience that you loved? Or just asking questions about the past that lets us all share in a way that we can all relate.
Yeah.
And one of the things is also just noticing if there's negative ninnies in the group with the Ace of Swords reversed, and kind of like giving them a little extra attention to kind of rein them in a bit with when they bring negative energy to the group, kind of
Mhm.
calling them out on the side, obviously not in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And just
that might
making
be
it
me. I'm not sure.
because it's funny how you work. I know you mentioned that you work in computers in some
Mhm.
way,
Yeah.
and there's something about like a discomfort with socializing that a lot of them might feel that makes it even harder, where there's like this like, because you have the Three of Cups reversed with the Ace of Swords reversed, so there's this kind of resistance to socializing that you have to overcome as well. And so I kind of feel like don't force it is what that's saying.
Yeah.
Just don't force it. And you also have the Two of Cups reversed, which is like, there's some frictions that might be going on among the people on a subtle level. And it might be good for a way for them to air out their grievances in a healthy way. Might be fun. Fun's not the word.
All right, go around the room and say what you hate
need to
about
have
the
a
person.
Festivus for the rest of us. An airing of grievances.
Right.
But something where people can kind of share the ways they feel uncomfortable. I don't know what engineers need, but they need some sort of way to let out and vent. But I really think the best solution is the Six of Cups, which is just kind of, it's a little bit forced, but being like, all right, today we're going to do a question to start things off. What was the craziest thing you did as a kid that's fun to share?
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe you guys could do like an effigy of your boss or something. Gather around.
All right. That's good.
Was that
Thank
helpful?
you. Yes, thank you.
I'm going to go the general route.
Okay. All right.
I generally die.
Don't even ask. I don't want to know. Okay.
If you just, it would be great if you just read theirs and then just shouted out a date. June 10th, 2058, you're gonna die. Okay, guys, what's next? How about these Doritos?
Okay, I've got these cards and oh no. All right, anyway, we gotta go. Novak just slumps over in his seat.
The reason they don't tell death is the cards is because what good would it do you? Like, it would only add paranoia to your life. And it really ticks me off when I hear of people who get readings where they're like, I got a reading that really like wigged my brain out. That's not a good reading, and professionals rarely would do that. That's not kosher. You're getting some novice reading your cards. Go to a professional to clear the air if you really felt awkward afterward or got paranoid about something.
You went to the wrong table in New Orleans, is what you're saying. In that
yeah, you can do that. It happens.
Let's say you wanted a reading. Would you do it? Could you do that on yourself, or would you go to somebody else?
I sometimes give myself quickies,
You do that.
But I will say that
Right over my flaming sword is finally pointing upward.
It's a flaming wand.
Oh, wand, sorry.
Whoa there, buddy. It's only a wand.
When I was learning the cards, I would read for myself a lot, and I would read for my cat and anybody who'd let me. And it was helpful. And what was interesting is one time I gave myself a reading about, I was going to England for a year, and everyone's like, oh, you should be so excited. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, And so I pulled 3 readings on it, changing my attitude with each reading. And it completely changed the meanings of the cards. And the final reading was the best. And I was like, what if I just don't stress it and don't like force myself to have expectations? And it was like, amazing. And so I did that, and it was amazing. You know, like it's a great way to kind of guide yourself. So you can read for yourself, but now that I'm a professional, it's just so much easier for me to go to someone else because it's hard to channel for yourself. Yeah. It's hard to see past your own BS, you know?
Right. Do you do like couples ever, or is it more like, again, it's supposed to be separate because it's a therapy kind of thing and they might not.
You're setting me up for the joke that yes, I do couples.
No, hold on. Because I know I dated a girl one time and we went, now I know it's not at all the same thing, but she went to some fortune teller or something. And they refused to like see us at the same time because like they might tell her that we're gonna break up or something stupid. I think it was so they could charge us twice, but
probably
could be.
No, honestly, I'm not even being facetious, but
I love giving couples readings, and I have the ability to censor myself enough to give you the right information that'll help you. My view is that the reading should be supporting you in figuring your stuff out. I have told couples, look, this may not last forever, but it could. You know, because I don't want to destroy a relationship, but it's also like, how can you like?
I mean, I could get hit by a train right now. I don't think it happened.
I mean, to me, it's this thing about I'm trying to help that couple to both make their best path into the best evolution possible.
Yeah.
So how can they both support each other in their evolution? And some relationships are there just to teach each other a lot. So then I'll just focus on what they can learn from each other and not say it looks dire. One of my best friends was getting married and I read her cards just before I became a professional, actually. And I could see that it was bad for her, but I could also see that it would be okay long-term. And so I didn't tell her it was going to get harder. I just didn't think that was important. And later she was like, thank you for not telling me that. And it did get harder, but then the marriage was worthwhile. If you know.
Yeah. Right.
That makes sense.
You got the ace of divorce, which is...
There is a divorce card. And that wasn't there, but it was showing that there was going to be a lot more arguments happening.
The six of chlamydia showed up here. I don't know where that's from, but...
And then, real quick before you get to Novak's reading, when you read for your cat, did you pull out 9 death cards?
Yeah.
Chad has been penciling that one out for about 10 minutes now.
Yeah. No, the cat was very unhappy that it was declawed and stuck in an apartment in New York. And it did die. It did die young. So I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
All right, Novak.
All right, I'm ready.
Novak,
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first card you have is actually a really spiritual card called the Hanged Man. And it's not about hanging like on a noose. It's a man hanging from a tree, hanging from his foot. Mm-hmm. And he's hanging upside down. And typically one knee is bent. One thing I'd like to share is that if you watch movies and you know the traditional symbolism in the cards, like when I saw Maleficent, the boy who's being taken to go kiss Sleeping Beauty falls into this position while they're carrying him. And I was like, oh, hangman. Like, I get all excited. I'm like,
it was like an Easter egg.
In Coco, the kid is total. There's tarot Easter eggs, yes, in movies all the time because film geeks are into this. So the Hanged Man is a card of surrendering to what is, and it's a letting go that can be really challenging, but spiritual. And so this is the story of Odin. And Odin is one of the only pagan gods in the cards that I know of. Odin hung himself from a tree upside down, like they would hang a goat from the tree to bleed its neck out, right? Sure. I believe on the goat. That's a not validated exactly.
Sounds legit. I mean,
right? Yeah. Let's go with it. So he hung himself from a tree to sacrifice himself unto himself, and meditated for 7 days, and beneath his head sprang the runes, which gave him the ability to communicate with humans through the art of divination. So it's a neat divination history card, and it's a card of kind of meditating and going into just accepting what is as it is. Mm-hmm. And you have a project that needs finished with this 7 of Pentacles, or you need to smoke less weed. Sometimes I see this as like smoking less weed. Because look at this guy. This guy
I thought
on
I
this
was
card
supposed
looks
to
like
finish
a total...
the project.
That's what I call my bong project.
So this particular card in the World Spirit Tarot deck, he looks like a Wookiee pretty hard, and so he's a Wook. He looks very Wook.
Yeah.
So I take this as a bit of a stoner card as well in this deck, but it's a card of having, it's a 7 of Pentacles, so you got to get to the 9. So there's some project that you've got to keep working on, and you got to surrender to just accepting what it is. It wasn't what you expected it to be at the beginning, but you're so close to being done. Don't give up now. You got to keep going. You're so close. So you have to start approaching it sort of from a more magical thinking point of view of just, how does this project want to finish itself instead of how do I have to force it into being in the box I originally created? Because you have the Page of Pentacles reversed, you have to kind of let go of your control of it a little bit with the Hanged Man mixed. And the Page of Pentacles reversed is also someone who's like trying to make something happen with Earth, but you have the Star card reversed with it, which says to me, like, you just, something about the ideals of this project have kind of imploded, and you can just let go of making it be what you intended and surrender to what it wants to become.
Okay.
So I hope that, Hanged Man is a great card.
That's very
There's
fun.
something I've been working on around the house, and I'm just going to tell my wife, this thing's got to finish itself, babe. I gotta.
No, you still have to finish it, but
we're going to call it done, right?
No.
If you need me, I'll be out back hanging from the tree.
Yeah. This is what I was going to say. I'm about to take out the trash, but I'm going to go smoke this bong hanging from a tree. So,
The trash is just sitting on the porch. You still have to finish the project, but you don't have to do it the way you thought you were going to do it.
Yeah. Right. You can hire somebody to do it, she's saying.
Finish your project, Novak.
Make your wife do it.
All right. My project is this episode of YTD, so let's keep rolling. That was awesome, actually.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's one of my favorite segments.
Got to shuffle to close it out. All right, and grounding with food is a great way to, after a reading, to kind of, like ground back in, close the container.
That was nice and tranquil. Here's a fistful of Doritos 3D. What a deep cleansing breath. Now try to shit this out.
So I appreciate that they made these shaped into a little balloon that like fits perfectly in your palate of your mouth with your tongue and your palate. It's like a little, you can
now focus on the 3D Doritos traveling down your poop tube.
Very, very slowly.
These are the 3D Crunch Spicy Ranch flavored Doritos, and they are a hollow triangle. They're almost they feel like what's the bugle-ish?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, they're like harder, or like chewier.
And not a good
Spicy Ranch. So these are not Cool Ranch.
Yeah,
but I mean, they definitely are a little spicier than like a normal Dorito.
What is the spice? It's like indiscriminate.
Yeah,
it's called MSG.
There is some jalapeno pepper, according to them.
It's burning my mouth.
Do you not like spice, Jenna?
I love spice. I like real spice.
Oh, really?
I don't like
Do you not love Spicy Ranch 3D Doritos, Jenna? Come on.
So you don't like Flamin' Hot chips or anything like that?
I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I mean, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but this is different because we did like a couple different Flamin' Hot, including Flamin' Hot cheesy Doritos. I don't know, like 2-3 months ago. And this tastes a little different in the way that it's spiced to me than those did. Am I wrong?
No, these are less spicy than those, I think. It's a weirder heat. Like the heat lasts longer.
The spice doesn't have flavor. Like I feel like some of the like spicy chips, like the red and orange flavored colored chips you'll get that are just crazy spice. There's at least some kind of flavor mixed in there that's maybe like cheese-ish or something, but this just is.
There's some paprika or there's some cayenne. This, I don't know what is in this, but monosodium glutamate is just right in the middle of the menu.
I mean, that's
baking
normally a good
soda.
thing for me, but
I don't like it.
I love
It just feels like it's melting my tongue whenever. I mean, I do like.
Yeah.
I know that Flaming Hot Cheetos has it, so sometimes I like it, but it has to be other spices included.
Right.
All right, I'll start this time. This is the last of the three I would reach for. I'm a little disappointed because I like the chip itself. Like, it does remind me of a bugle, which I like quite a bit. And if they just, instead of this random spice, covered this with Cool Ranch flavoring, I think it could be pretty good, and I actually would probably like it. I don't taste the ranch, like the word ranch, at all. I don't know if that's just supposed to be like a callback to like the spicy part of the Cool Ranch without the like flavorful part. But overall, they're not great. I'm going to just slide them down into a high level dislike that. So a dislike to start. It's got a long road to hoe here to win. I don't think it's going to. Jenna, what do you think?
I hate them. I mean, okay, so besides the shape being fun, that's the only thing I like about them.
Very fun.
I agree that there's no ranch about this. It literally just tastes like it's trying to give me spice, but there's no real like nuance whatsoever. My least favorite thing about them is the texture of the chip. It's like, spray foam. Spray foam that you spray into like spaces in your house.
Caulk. Yeah.
It's the consistency of dried spray foam. About the flavor, I mean, I don't eat spray foam, but I'm guessing it's close. And
only one way to find out.
Oh,
Go get some spray foam.
Well, you need to get the spicy spray foam.
We didn't tell you our fourth snack is ranch spray foam.
Just take some spray foam, put some MSG on it, call it a day.
Hidden Valley bathtub caulk.
I do like Cool Ranch chips with Dorito. I'm not a huge Dorito fan, frankly, but I will eat Cool Ranch. They're kind of okay. But yeah, I'm not a huge Bugle fan either, though. And these are kind of like Bugles. So, if you love Bugles, maybe you'd be into it. But and the spice flavor just has no nuance. It's just like someone plastic is a fair word. I don't know. Something's not right. It's just, it tastes pretty chemical. It's just like I have a chemical burn in my mouth right now.
Yeah.
All right, so a dislike and a hate. Geiger, what do you think?
Boy, I was prepared to allow joy into my life again. Trying to take the tarot card reading serious. Everyone knows I love Cool Ranch Doritos.
Everyone, world over.
Everyone worldwide, it's well known. These are no Cool Ranch Doritos in any way. They're not good. I agree with Jenna that it's mostly I don't mind the spicy part of it. I don't mind spicy food. These aren't overly spicy to me. If you had said these are spicy Cool Ranch, I could buy the flavor. That's fine. It's just the texture is bad. It's like I get what you're saying where it's Bugle-like, but Bugles have a much better. They're like crunchier and softer, have a better mouthfeel than these. These are just weird. They're like Jenna said, they're kind of chewy-ish, but not. It's very strange consistency, which is off-putting to me. I like that the 3D. Those 2D chips we were eating were just too hard to figure out where to grab if you saw them sideways. But it's much puffier and easier. The flavor isn't good, and I agree with Novak. Just make them Cool Ranch Dorito flavored, and these will probably be at least decent. But as it is, they're kind of crappy. So I won't go all the way to hate that. It's still a Dorito, but dislike that for me.
Chad, round us off here.
Well, look, I don't like spicy food, period. So I think what I'm about to say is not going to be too much of a surprise here. But to me, I realized the 3D stands for 3 Doritos because I could only eat 3 of them. So,
That's it, yeah.
Or let me try this one. The 3D stands for dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. Because this is dog shit from 3 different ways. I think the flavor is dog shit. You don't taste any ranch at all. It's just all chemical spice. I think the texture is dog shit. I don't really like it. And actually, I think the whole concept of this thing is dog shit. This is an excuse for them to put fewer chips in the bag because it's like just mostly air, right? I don't even think I would like just a regular like Cool Ranch 3D Doritos or a nacho cheese 3D Doritos. I think I would be like, why am I eating this? I should just eat the regular one. So these are terrible. I think they're one of the worst things that I have eaten maybe the worst thing we've eaten this year. I think
Wow.
I might say these
I don't know
are. So
about
these
that.
are getting a hate dad from me. They're awful.
Really?
Crazy. We've had so
Really?
much crap.
We have eaten a lot of crap. I guess I'd have to go back and check the
Crappy
tapes.
stuff.
If I can change my answer to hate dad, I didn't realize that's an option. Yes, that's.
You can do that.
Yeah, no, I call you did say I hate this. And that's the very first words out of your mouth. So I kind
Yeah.
of
I just want to close. At the end, I said dislike, but no, I hate it.
no.
Alright.
No, mine was this. So
Fair.
2 dislikes, 2 hates. The winner is the kettle chips by
Go
a landslide.
Portland!
Yeah. Woo!
So Jenna, we want to give you a chance. Why don't you plug what you'd like? I know you got the website, the YouTube channel. Where can people find out about you?
Yeah, so you can go to presentpathtarot.com, and tarot is spelled Tarot. And so path, not past, P-A-T-H, so present path, like you're walking on a path, tarot. And I'm also on YouTube. I've made 60 YouTubes during COVID. That's how I entertained myself.
Awesome.
There are all kinds of different topics, so you can come in there and learn about manifestation, or you can get a reading, or you can learn about how to read the cards. And I also teach the cards. I also do intuition coaching now. So if I'm into this teach a man to fish idea, where you come to me and we'll talk about how you can better listen to your own intuition instead of relying on a reader necessarily. So I do all those things, and I do online Zoom with all teaching, reading, and intuition coaching. So wherever you are, I'm happy to meet with you. And I also have an Instagram, but it's not very good yet. But you can come check it out. But my YouTube is really where it's at. My YouTubes, I think, I put a lot of love and effort into those. And to me, I'm Gen X, so I like full sentences, and I feel like Instagram's a little too short for me. But I am going to start a new project of adding my travel photos. I've done a lot of traveling, and I'm going to add that into Instagram and kind of shift up what I'm doing on there. But yeah, come and reach out, send me an email, or just sign up for a session and get a taste of what tarot is like, and break the mold of what you think it's like from all the bad movie impressions.
And there was a picture on your website. It looked like you were officiating a wedding.
Yes, I do. I also officiate weddings. Yeah, I love it.
Night.
It's really fun. If you're getting married in the Portland or local area, come and hit me up for a reading. I love doing weddings. I married a lesbian couple this spring who was awesome. And what I do is I meet with each person on Zoom and get to know them, and then create their story for the ceremony and include in all
That's
the
great.
designs of what they want as far as the pattern of when the vows, the routine, and do some hippie hand fasting or something.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Well, we have had so much fun having you on. I want to thanks so much for
Yeah,
coming.
for sure.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to eating kettle chips to get this horrible Doritos flavor out of my mouth.
That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Yeah, I was like, that's the only way. I ran out of water. I need to just shove these kettle chips back to.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, too. It was a lot of fun, you guys.
Then that'll do it for this time. But we'll be back next time. We'll be trying out 3 brand new things.
Deuces.
Yep.
Now we'll see what the future holds. The death card? No, that's good. It means transition, change.
Oh, that's cute.
The happy squirrel.
That's bad?
Possibly. The cards are vague and mysterious.